So, what would you actually do if the world you know just fell apart overnight? Look, this isn't some movie plot. In this explainer, we're going to break down a very practical guide for how to protect what's yours when things get chaotic.
Hey, you're going to want to listen carefully to this, because what we're about to talk about isn't theory. This is based on real, hard-won experience. When a major conflict kicks off, your world can change in the blink of an eye. The fundamental things we all rely on every single day can break down with shocking speed. And that means the flow of everything essential, from food on the shelves to fuel at the pump, it can just grind to a halt. And maybe the scariest part for your savings, the cash in your wallet, the money in your bank account, it can become almost worthless, literally overnight. So yeah, that's the brutal economic reality of war. Most people, they lose everything. But listen, it doesn't have to be that way. The rest of this is all about the smart, the realistic, and the legal strategies that can make all the difference.
But before we dive into assets and tactics, we've got to start with the foundation. There are two golden rules here, and they have to guide every single decision you make. These are totally non-negotiable.
First things first, priority number one is your physical survival. It's as simple as that. No financial plan on earth matters if you're not around to use it. And second, everything you do has to be 100% legal. I know it might be tempting to cut corners when things are crazy, but it will only put you in more danger. It's just not worth the risk.
Okay, with those rules in place, let's talk strategy. In a crisis, runaway inflation can vaporize savings, banks can fail, cash just isn't reliable. So you've got to shift your thinking away from paper and towards things you can actually hold in your hand.
And this is where we get into what are called tangible assets. It's just a way of saying real, physical stuff that has value all by itself, no matter what a bank or government says. When things go wrong, these become the bedrock of your financial survival.
And what's so interesting here is the why behind these. In a crisis, people don't just want money, they want certainty. Gold gives you the certainty of thousands of years of trust. It's easy to carry and everyone accepts it. Land gives you the certainty of food or shelter. And essential supplies, well, they offer the most immediate certainty of all, just surviving another day. That's their real power.
But just owning stuff isn't enough. You can't just bury your assets in the backyard and hope for the best. See, protecting your wealth is a team sport. Your relationships and how you operate are just as critical as the stuff you actually own.
And this quote just nails it. When all the normal systems break down, your reputation and the trust people have in you, well, that becomes your most valuable currency. A solid network of suppliers, transporters, and buyers, that's your real safety net. So that trust becomes a three-step security process. First, you have to actively build those trust networks. Then, you use that network to secure your operations, like storing your assets in multiple safe locations and having backups. And third, you have to plan for when things inevitably go wrong. You need contingency plans ready to go.
So, you've got your tangible assets, you've got a strong network. The final piece of this puzzle is managing your resources wisely, day to day. It's about making smart moves even when you're surrounded by chaos.
And this really requires a two-pronged approach. On the one hand, you are constantly reinvesting any profits you make right back into your tangible assets, so your resources keep growing. But on the other hand, you live modestly. Keeping your personal expenses low reduces the pressure and, frankly, makes you less of a target.
Tangible assets are crucial. Networks are vital. But out of all these strategies, there is one focus that is more important than anything else. The most durable kind of wealth, the kind that can survive almost anything, isn't about what you have. It's about what you do. It's about solving real, urgent problems for other people.
That means focusing on providing what people desperately need. And look, this isn't about profiteering, it's about providing genuine value. When you become a reliable source for things like food or medicine or clean water, you create a kind of wealth that's woven right into the survival of your whole community.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Tangible assets, networks, smart management, but it all really boils down to one final crucial takeaway. This is your ultimate insurance policy.
Let's just be really clear about the stakes. This isn't pessimism, it's just a statistical reality. For anyone who's unprepared, this is pretty much the default outcome.
So what's the one thing that separates those who get through it from those who don't? What's the one principle that holds all these strategies together?
It's this. Your survival comes first, always. Every strategy, every plan, and every asset you have is secondary to staying alive. Because in the end, That is the only form of wealth that truly matters. Stay smart, stay legal, and stay prepared.